everybody, it's Stephenie from fitbodies.com, 2 T's in Fit Bodies. I'm really excited to see you today. I just got finished teaching my high school students about the idea of meditating and how meditation can deal with stress, help you deal with stress, help you solve problems, bring you relief from pain possibly, keep the positive mood engaged, and maybe even extend life if you look at some of the studies. And I thought, why not share it with you guys, a broader audience, about all the pros and cons and good and bad and ugly and wonderful stuff all related to meditation. I know that meditating can be a trigger for some people, and I want to recognize that and honor that. Sometimes when we're alone with our stillness, there are things that come up that we don't want to process or deal with, and I recognize that. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I don't have all the answers. So just that said, I want to talk about how meditation can be a positive thing for you. Most people I talk to, when I mention meditation, they say I don't have a quiet space, I don't have a time chunk, I don't have time for it, and I get bored. Those are the biggest excuses that I hear. And I get it, I feel all of those things as well. Let's face it, most of us have 2 speeds. We run at 2 speeds, full speed ahead and sound asleep, right? And so to sit still for any length of time, man, that's tough. Without entertainment, without digital media, without our phones in front of us, we are just not used to a lack of stimulation, and that's tough for some people because the thoughts that pop in are what's really going on, and sometimes that digital media keeps us from processing what's really going on up here. So in answer to those 3 excuses, I'll say I'm sitting here in the corner of my classroom, just got finished with class. I have a few minutes of peace and quiet, so I'm making it happen. So that's the answer to I don't have enough time. If you don't schedule it, it's not going to happen. So find a few minutes. People think, I need to have a half an hour. No, especially if you're a newbie, you can go 3 minutes, 5 minutes max, and you can carve out 5 minutes in your day. You just need to find a space that's relatively quiet. So if you've got a busy household, no quiet, then maybe you need to leave the kids with your partner or leave the dogs and go take a walk and find a tree to sit under, or maybe at your office, your workplace, maybe at lunch, you take 5 minutes and you close your door, or you go find a park bench or something and seek out that stillness. Okay, so you have to actively find it. It's not easy. I know for many people it's not easy to find. So you gotta have that. You gotta have that quiet, because it's not going to happen with busyness. So I found this spot in my classroom, and I'm going to spend a few minutes. Now, time-wise, we talked about 30 minutes, 5 minutes. I've worked up to 15 minutes. It's really a personal thing. There's no rule. So get off the whole, I didn't do it long enough, or I can't do it long enough. Get off the can'ts and shoulds and shouldn'ts and all of that, and just focus on the celebration of the stillness that you can carve out for you. And so I started out with a 5-minute thing, and I worked up to 15. And 15 seems to be a really good number for me for how I go about things. There are all kinds of apps out there, so that's another excuse I hear is, I don't know what to do. My mind just goes crazy, and I don't know how to focus, and I can't clear my mind. Well, there's wonderful apps out there, and I'll post them in the comments or in the notes or whatever. There are great apps you can get on your phone or your devices that will guide you through, so you don't have to manage what to do, what to say. There are bells that ding and gong and whatever to let you know when time has passed, so you don't have to track things on a watch. Really fantastic. My favorite is actually a podcast. It's called Secular Buddhism. You can find it on, Google Play or, whatever the iPhone store is. You can find that podcast, and it's actually, I just go back to the same episode. There's 2 actually that I listen to, And one is a guided meditation, and the other one is the same meditation but without the voiceovers. So once I practiced with the guided meditation, it's 15 minutes. And then once I managed to get that on my own, then I flipped over to the one where I took the lead, and I was able to lead myself through the guided meditation. And the way it works is I would do 5 minutes of breathing exercises and 5 minutes of dumping. In other words, any pain, negative emotion, physical pain or emotional pain, or any negative emotion, any challenges that I was facing, I would try to dump in that 5 minutes. Just try to visually and mentally just let it go. And I didn't worry about the breathing the second minute, and then the second 5 minutes. And then the third 5 minutes was all about intention, or what I want to happen, what I want to welcome into my life. And so the breathing, then the dumping, and then the welcoming in. And 5 minutes each, and the 15 minutes just flies by. It's really powerful. That's what I do. You find what works for you. Some people use a mala bead. Now I don't have my mala beads with me, so I have these lovely fake little Mardi Gras beads with me. I teach my students articulation using the beads, how the spine articulates. Anyway, so I grabbed these out of my cabinet, but to use it as an example, let me backtrack a little bit. To meditate, some people are able to successfully lie down for meditation, but can you guess why that's probably not a good idea for most people? I don't know about you, but if I lie down, I'm going to fall asleep. And the point is that we're mindful and focused and not sleeping. Okay, sleeping's great. That's a different thing. Napping is a different thing. I'm talking about meditating. So most people sit crisscross applesauce or lotus if you're flexible, with your palms on your knees, or if you can't reach, some people's legs are long and you're like this, you want to be comfortable. So place your palms, the backs of your hands with your palms facing up to receive inspiration. And then each finger represents, these are called mudras, and you can look these up. I'm not an expert, but each finger pressing with the thumb represents a different intention. Maybe you need guidance one day. Maybe you need stillness in your life. Maybe you're seeking for change. And so these different mudras, M-U-D-R-A, you look it up, mean different things. Or you can just have your palms open. If that bugs you, it doesn't matter what you do with your hands. Don't get caught up in that. Just whatever's comfortable. And you want to sit as tall and straight as you can to keep your breathing pure, but also to keep you awake, because the slouching makes you sleepy. Aww. I don't know about you, but there are days when I could fall asleep just sitting here. Not gonna happen today. Okay, so I'll get to the beads in a second. I jumped ahead of myself. There are lots of ways. I talked about using an app, a guided meditation. Some people will focus on a picture. They'll put a picture or a shrine or a word, and they just focus on it, So there's a visual, and you just breathe and you focus. And you just think about that word, that picture, that person. Speaking of words, some people actually say the words over and over again, or a mantra. They say a series of words. For example, maybe my mantra is, I am powerful, or I am worthy, or girl, you got this, or whatever the mantra is. You say it over and over again as you breathe. I am powerful. You could say it out loud, or you could say it in your mind, over and over and over again. As soon as your mind wanders, because the idea is to clear your mind of the clutter and really focus and refine those thoughts. As soon as you get some sort of a thought pop in that's not supposed to be, they're like, oh, this is dumb, this is stupid, or I gotta go pay the bills, or I gotta go pick up Joey, right? Focus in on that mantra, again, those words. Or if you're looking at something, focus on that. Some people use the beads. Now, we're back to the beads now. Mala beads are the beads with they're usually made of a semi-precious stone, and they've got a nice little tassel at the end. And people wear them around the neck, or they wrap them around their wrists. There are 108 beads on a mala, I believe. I'm not an expert. I do have one at home. I wish I would have brought it to show you. And people meditate with this in their lap, and they put a thumb and the finger on a bead, and I'm sure there's other ways to do it. This is how I was taught. And you focus on your intention or your mantra for each bead. You breathe, and you think of your word or your mantra or your intention, and then the next bead you do it again, and then again. There's no rush, but you do it 108 times, going all the way around. That's why there's the tassel. So you start at one end, go all the way around to the other side of the tassel. Great thing for those of you who wander. This keeps you really focused, and 108 times is going to give you quite a bit of meditation. Some people just do the breathing, and I'm going to teach you my favorite kind of breathing. There are so many kinds of breathing. There's in through the nose and out through the nose. There's in through the nose and out through the mouth. There's mouth-only breathing. There's closing certain size of your nostrils with certain fingers. I welcome you to check it out if that's your deal. If you want to know more, there's so much out there. It's so exciting. I'm kind of simple. I kind of just like let me breathe how I want to breathe, but I breathe with a certain intention, and I call this box breathing. I think you might recognize this. Other people call it this as well. And basically you think of drawing a box with your breathing. And I had to look, sorry I took my eyes off of you. I had to look and make sure that you could see that I'm drawing. It's more like a rectangle, but it's actually a box. There's a box. Ha! Okay, so you want to think of inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts. Now it could be 5 counts, it could be 3 counts, it could be 10 counts. I don't care. I think 4 is a really good number for most people. Inhaling, hold, exhaling, hold. Equal. So you're drawing your box, and if you focus on your breathing and you're counting, the time's gonna fly by. You're not worried about time. The thoughts pop into your head. You don't have time to deal with them because you're counting, you're breathing, and it's a great way for beginners and advanced people alike to stay focused and on track. So this is one of the big ways. The first 5 minutes of my 15-minute meditation is this box breathing. So let's do it together for a second. I'm just gonna put my hands, my palms up. I'm gonna sit back nice and tall enough that it's slightly uncomfortable, because then you're not gonna fall asleep, right? Keeping your core engaged. Nice. And let's breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. Breathe out for 4. Hold it for 4. Again. Hold. Out. Hold. And then do a few on your own. You there? See how cool that is? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with a couple of things. You wanna make sure that you're temperature controlled. So if you're shivering or you're hot, you're not gonna be as focused. You also wanna make sure, if music helps you, you wanna play soft music. It's probably not a good time to bring out the death metal, okay? You wanna have relaxing, soft, meditative music without lyrics. That's why, people, the stereotypical gongs and bells and whatnot, but that's very meditative. So a drum beat in the background is very meditative. Whatever floats your boat, Gregorian chants even, but we want to stay away from lyrics that you can follow along with in your mind. That is distracting. So you want to have music that just is kind of background music. In here, I don't know if you could hear it, there's this big fan on the ceiling just going like shh, but that's white noise. A lot of people go to sleep with a fan. I don't want to sleep. Again, we talked about that. But that is my background, that fan. So it could be a lot of things, but you want to be perfect temperature controlled. You want to have it quiet. Music is great. Set an alarm or use an app that will track time for you so you're not always peeking at the time. That's distracting. That way you can completely relax and get into yourself. This can bring up, like I said at the beginning, this can trigger some things that maybe you've got way down deep that you don't want to deal with. But if you dealt with it a little bit every day, think about the release you would feel. Again, I'm not a psychologist, but there are many studies about the benefits. It's widely accepted that meditation is very beneficial to your mental and emotional health. And physical health even, they're saying. It helps lower heart rate, it helps decrease pain, so many good things. So my challenge to you, before I let you go, thank you for tuning in. If you've been here this whole time, high five, man, because 15 plus almost 16 minutes, I'm impressed. Thank you for sticking around. But my challenge to you is, can you hit 5 minutes 3 times a week? Okay? 5 minutes 3 times a week. And then can you work up to 4 times a week? And then 5 times a week, 6 times 7. I'll let you go in a second, but let me just say, on the days that I practice yoga, I call that my moving meditation, and I don't sit and meditate on those days. Maybe shame on me, maybe not, whatever it is, what it is. I save my meditation for the days I don't practice my yoga. So for what it's worth. You can get lots more information on my website, fitbodies.com, 2 T's. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook. I'd love to hear from you and see how things are going. If you've got a tip for meditation, please put it below. I always comment on every comment, as long as it's positive and sweet. And I hope to see you around next time, everybody. Namaste. Peace out.